Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning to you. It is Thursday. It is April 29th, and our weather team just now kind of catching their breath.
That's right. It's been a busy overnight, and some of the severe storms have kind of moved out of the area, but still a lot of rain. Let's go ahead and look outside with live cam right now. We're at about 72 degrees and still expecting some showers, Justin.
Yeah, we're going to get some showers through the day today. The severe weather threat has ended. It was a busy evening and busy overnight. We had several rounds of storms come through. We had storm reports, large hail, gusty winds, potentially some tornado damage, although that's not confirmed yet. We're going to be looking at that today. Still some shower activity right now. Let's look at the radar and show you what's going on. Thunderstorms have moved off to the north and east, but what you will notice is that we still have some returns there across northern parts of Bexar County, and this is slowly moving through. So you're going to get some more rounds of showers. The roads are wet. There's some drizzle out there as well on top of all of that rain that we saw last night. So there's still going to be some high water in spots. You know, the low-lying areas that you just want to avoid, because they're still going to be problematic. Even this morning, some places got up to 4 inches of rain around San Antonio yesterday evening. Here's the big picture, and you'll notice there's an upper level low spinning out over El Paso. This is not leaving anytime soon. It's going to sit out there for a couple of days. That's going to keep rain chances in our forecast into the weekend. In fact, Saturday we could see some showers and storms, although we're not expecting a lot of severe weather. That's the good news, just some beneficial rain. 72 at the airport right now, 68 Bernie Stage, 69 in Comfort. These numbers aren't going to change all that much today because we'll continue to see some cloud cover, and that'll keep temperatures in check. So we're thinking highs only around 78 or so. There could be a few peaks of sun. And again, rain chances at about 20%. But those numbers go up coming up tomorrow and especially Saturday. We're going to have a look at some of the rainfall totals, and we'll also look at some of the storm reports that are coming in. That's coming up here in just a few minutes. But let's get over to Samuel now. We were talking about those roads. How are they looking now?
Things have improved greatly as above what they were overnight, but we still have some issues. And you mentioned the showers moving back in. It doesn't take those heavy rain showers to cause some issues. But right now, Loop 410 at Callahan Road, see sort of the rain falling there, some few showers. So that's just something to look out for. Still have reports of high water in places. That includes Loop 1604 at Wiseman Boulevard there on west side, west of 151. Looking at the overall map, not seeing too many weather road conditions, and we are seeing some of the traffic conditions improve. That is a good thing. Here on the east side, though, we still have via service impacted by some of the rain that we had overnight. The Route 21, for instance, Kirby and Converse, no service on the I-35 frontage roads between Benzingelman and AT&T Center Parkway because they had some low water there. And let's take a look now at the Bexar County flood map. That'll show you some of the other traffic road closures we're seeing across the area. One in that area I mentioned about the via service there. Also a lot on the west side still, including just west of the medical center area. So you're still going to be dealing with some of these this morning. Looks about 20 of the 199 still closed. So until that sort of clears out, just watch for delays in areas, and remember, turn around, don't drown. Mark, Stephanie?
Scattered road closures, scattered power outages continue as of 9 o'clock this morning. Here's the latest from CPS Energy. We still have over 200 outages affecting just over 8,600 customers.
And for now, let's take a look at today's 9 at 9. During his first address to a joint session of Congress last night, President Joe Biden laid out plans for his presidency. He issued a new call to action from lawmakers on child care, education, gun reform, and infrastructure.
President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden will spend most of today in Georgia. They'll visit former President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind. They'll also attend a drive-in rally in Duluth, Georgia.
The National Weather Service will send crews to survey storm damage in areas in and around San Antonio today. Crews will determine if any of the damage was caused by tornadoes.
U.S. military planes will begin landing in India today, loaded with supplies to help them fight a surge in COVID-19 cases. The supplies include oxygen, masks, remdesivir, and COVID tests and vaccines.
County officials in California will complete the validation process today for more than 1.6 million signatures collected by organizers trying to force an election to recall Governor Gavin Newsom.
Federal prosecutors indicted the 3 men accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery on hate crime and attempted kidnapping charges. Arbery was out for a jog near Brunswick, Georgia early last year when he was shot and killed.
Federal agents executed search warrants at the apartment and office of former President Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. Giuliani has been the focus of a criminal investigation dealing with his activities in Ukraine, but he has not been charged.
The 2021 NFL Draft will begin tonight. It'll be spread out across multiple venues in Cleveland, and fans will be allowed to attend. You can watch the draft live starting at 7 right here on KSAT 12.
Prince William and Duchess Kate are celebrating 10 years of marriage today. New pictures of the couple were released this morning to mark the occasion. And that's today's 9 at 9.
Other top stories we're following for you this morning. Some school districts west of San Antonio have announced school closures for the day due to power outages and storm damage. All campuses from Medina Valley ISD, Hondo ISD, and D'Hanis ISD are closed today.
Medina Valley ISD says some schools don't have electricity. Hondo ISD says it will be assessing the damage to its facilities, but classes will be back in session tomorrow. And D'Hanis ISD says schools are closed due to rain and hail damage. You can read more on our website at ksat.com.
Here at home, crews with City of San Antonio had a busy morning as they worked to clear out some of the mess left behind from those overnight storms.
And what you're going to look at now is video of a neighborhood on Woodstone Drive between I-10 and Vance Jackson. People who live there say they heard a loud noise. They came outside to find a tree in the middle of the road.
It took crews hours to get everything cleared up. They had to use chainsaws and other machinery to scoop up the mess. One crew member told our crew it was a long night of cleanup around the Alamo City.
The storm also left a lot of damage at a con store on the city's west side. Investigators tell us an excess of water caused the roof to collapse.
The store is on Stemmons. That's near 410 and Bandera Road. Firefighters say the collapse then led to the back wall and fire sprinklers breaking, and that caused the store to flood.
Crews say damage to the store and merchandise is estimated to be over $100,000. Luckily, no one was injured.
Our weather coverage continues online at KSAT.com. Right now we have an article with pictures we've received from you, our viewers. Some show hail as big as baseballs. You can check it all out right now, that gallery on our homepage at KSAT.com.
Amazing pictures. Time now 9:05 and about 72 degrees right now.
An entire town in Canada lost internet for a while. Why authorities say beavers are to blame.
And Democratic lawmakers have been urging officials in recent weeks to release the money that was set aside by Congress for Texas's public schools. Alana Rocha with the Texas Tribune will join us with more on an announcement from the state's top leaders that would do just that.
A man in Rhode Island has a scary confrontation with a coyote, how he was finally able to get the animal to leave him alone.
And a quick look at stocks. The Dow is up about 85 points. We'll be right back. And welcome back. It's about 9:09. In your morning headlines, the economy continues to bounce back, and we have more disturbing video between police and a suspect.
Plus, man versus beast and birds. David Sears is here. Good morning, Mr. Sears.
This is going to freak you out. Have you seen this one yet?
I don't think so.
About the birds?
No, I haven't.
Think Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, the birds.
Yeah, those birds.
Those birds.
Wow. All right, first let's start with this. We got some good news to start with this morning when it comes to the economy. You know, we've been keeping up with the unemployment benefit numbers every week. That number dropped again down to 553,000 claims for unemployment benefits last week, down 13,000 from the previous week. But that's not all. The U.S. economy grew at a 6.4% annual rate last quarter. That is an increase from 4.3% in the final quarter of last year. It's expected to grow even more during the second quarter thanks to more vaccines being administered, more states opening up, and more people getting back to work. All right, the Alameda Police Department is under scrutiny this morning for the way several officers handled a suspect who died. Two officers pinned the suspect, 26-year-old Mario Gonzalez, to the ground face first for 6 minutes and 17 seconds before he died. The officers were responding to a theft when they got the call about a disorderly person who was possibly intoxicated. When the officers arrived, they got out of the car and then had a conversation with the suspect for about 12 minutes. They were asking generic questions like his name, identity. They eventually took him to the ground and pinned him there. A former LAPD homicide detective, Timothy Williams, specializes in use of force for police.
They stayed on his back.
Mario, calm down, please.
And it wasn't resisting. He was trying to position himself to breathe.
Now, Williams said the officers had several opportunities to avoid the outcome. The family of the victim has retained a lawyer. The officer's lawyer told a California TV station, KTVU, that the officers, quote, used the lowest force possible given the intensity of Mr. Gonzalez's efforts to evade their grasp, end quote. All right, let's take it to Rhode Island. That is a coyote, and he is just circling around Daniel Torres. This is taking place in a public park about 6:30 in the evening. Torres pulled out his cell phone for the video evidence. Torres says the coyote just started blocking his path before he started sizing him up. Torres says he grabbed a stick, was swinging it at him. He said he didn't hit the coyote. He was just trying to keep him at a distance. This lasted for about a half hour. Eventually, the coyote took off. So Torres said the coyote was blocking his path. You think maybe the coyote went back to his buddies and said, hey, that dude was blocking me. He wouldn't let me by, so I had to go around him a couple of times. You think the coyote had that conversation? I know one coyote who might have had that conversation. Our coyote.
The Spurs coyote.
Spurs coyote.
All right, let's try this one. In Houston, that is an alligator. Check out the police officer go, stay away from that guy. That is an alligator on a bridge. The officer's sizing him up. Animal control shows up to do a little gator wrangling. They got the 8-footer under control. Were able to load him in a truck and then get him to a small tributary and set him free. And finally, this one might creep you out a little or give you the willies. These are birds all over the ceiling of this house in California. Look at this. Not just a few, but hundreds of birds invaded this home of Patrick Belleville. He had a heck of a time getting rid of them. They just came right through the chimney. A friend called animal control. They said, open up the windows and the doors. That didn't help much. The birds were everywhere, not just on the ceiling. They were on pictures and bathrooms and the bedrooms and closets. They were flying all over Patrick. They were hitting him in the head when he came in the house. The family spent a night in a hotel. He finally started to get rid of them, put them in a box, and then let them go outside. But, you know, even after he got rid of all the birds, oh, yeah, they left him some memories.
Everywhere you can think of. The sofas, we tried to clean, the floors, just getting it off the floors. And a lot of the toys, poor kid, we were just tossing them out the windows.
Yeah. Can you imagine? This is like the first of two houses. Apparently another house got attacked by all these birds too. But that's the problem right there. Some of the officials are saying that they don't have a screen
on their chimney.
Over the chimney so the birds can get in. So, go home today. And if you have a chimney, check your screen.
Yeah,
check it out.
We will be looking.
Sounds like a future farmer's commercial, insurance commercial.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
What a
Been
mess.
there, done that?
Yep. Thank you, David.
Thanks.
9:14, about 72 degrees, and Justin Horn is back at KSAT only after a couple of hours sleep. You were out in Storm Chaser last night. It was an interesting night. I haven't been a weatherman for a long time, Justin, but right around sunset, that sky got that weird hue to it, and it kind of raised the hairs on the back of my neck.
These were huge storms. Supercells that came all the way from Del Rio, worked their way down Highway 90, and they did do some damage. Hopefully, once the sun comes up, we're going to see that the damage isn't extensive, but I think in places like Dennis, Castroville, even towards Hondo, we're going to see damage. There will be some cleanup next couple days. I want to show you a picture just to give you some perspective here of how big some of that hail was with these storms. This is out of Hondo. Hailstone came right through the roof, it looks like there. Just incredible. And we have seen damage like that in some reports of that larger hail. Softball, in some cases, softball to baseball to softball, in some cases there along Highway 90. And that is verifying. There's also some damage around San Antonio as well. So let's look at some of the storm reports. Now, this is not a live radar. This is from last night, but I kind of want to walk you through the storms here. These were those big supercells that came right down Highway 90 and just dropping large hail as they did there in Medina County and then moved into San Antonio, creating some damage there and kind of turned up I-35. Then we had more behind that mostly brought rain, but there were some hail reports with that sort of second and third round as well. We had 30-plus hail reports. You can see them kind of lined up there initially with that first storm and some of those bigger reports there around Dennis, Castroville, and again around Hondo. There were 8 reports of really large hail. Now let's talk rainfall. The numbers were good. I think we're going to see the aquifer really respond today. The airport, 3.06, and we're still adding to that. There's still some light rain out there, but you see some of the bigger numbers, 3.63 over at Garner State Park. Bernie, about 0.63. Medina, 2.14. And we'll zoom in a little bit closer here to parts of Bexar County, Medina County. 4.33 inches there on the west side of town. That did create some street flooding. Castroville, about 2.5 inches. Northwestern Medina County, 3.6. So you get the idea here. Now, I will tell you the gradient was pretty sharp. So as you got into eastern Bexar County, the numbers were not as good. But this should feed the aquifer. We should see that number go up. Here's the latest radar. We still have some white returns out there developing around San Antonio, and things are still very damp. We're going to continue to see some drizzle and shower activity here over the next couple of hours. But there's a look at some of the showers now right along the Medina-Bexar County line, and these will continue to work through San Antonio. So we'll still see some showers today. There's still that chance and that potential. And you see all the cloud cover too. A few breaks out to the west, and we could see a few breaks this afternoon, but in the meantime, cloudy skies. There is our upper level low. This is what's behind all of the weather. And notice it's kind of put the brakes on. This thing's going to sort of stop and move down into Mexico. And so that's going to keep rain chances in our forecast going forward. You see all the rain across Texas right now, more so across North Texas, but also some light rain coming down at the moment. 72, southeasterly winds at about 8, temperatures in the 60s and 70s. It's going to stay fairly cool today because we have that cloud cover and the potential for rain in place. We'll call for 70s. It will be a little bit warmer to the south and, per usual, a little cooler up in the hill country, maybe highs in the 60s only in Rock Springs. So here's our forecast going forward. A few showers today. This is around 6 o'clock. We'll keep showers in the forecast tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon, about a 30 to 40% chance of rain. We could see a few rumbles of thunder, too. We're not looking for severe weather, but there could be some thunderstorms. And look at Saturday morning. More rain coming in as that upper level low gets a little bit closer. I think Saturday is going to be a fairly wet day. Showers and storms. Right now we have it pegged at about a 60% chance. Forecast for today, though, just 20% chance of some showers, mostly cloudy, up around 78. 40% chance Friday, 60% chance Saturday. That keeps temperatures in the 70s. We do rebound, though, all the way into the mid-90s by Monday. South Texas weather for you guys.
Thank you, Justin. Well, now that the worst of the storms have passed, we're getting a better look at some of the damage left behind.
Alicia Bonetta is live in Castroville. Now, Alicia, what are you seeing out there?
Well, a lot of damage, unfortunately. So we just got to Castroville. We're doing a turnaround here. That way our viewers at home, you can kind of see what's happening in Castroville. So I'm going to give you the dash cam right now. We're going to do this turnaround. To your right, you're eventually going to see those down power lines. This is what we first ran into here in Castroville. So we're going to take things slow. That way you can get a better idea. We're going to put our roof cam here. So in just a few minutes, you'll actually see crews on the side of the road, and you start to see those down power lines. So this is what they're dealing with. A lot of damage this morning. So this is just the start of it. There you go on your screen right now. Those down power lines, very dangerous. And this is obviously Highway 90, so a very trafficked area. So you can just see how bad it is. And again, this is just entering Castroville, just down the road. So we're going to continue on here, take you with us to show you what we're seeing. I was trying to figure out what I was seeing. So Stephen, if you want to head west here. What we were seeing, I saw a big pile of black, and I was like, is that trash bags? It was a trampoline, so hopefully we'll be able to see that here with the roof cam. What are we seeing here, Stephen? You're telling me something? Keep going. All right, we're going to head over. All right, so another thing that we're seeing, and I wasn't able to show you right now because we're doing a lot of things at once. A big issue because of those down powered lines is the street lights. So those are out and obviously building up traffic a little bit there. Another thing that we saw, once you get into Castroville, the first thing are the restaurants. So we saw Sonic, Pizza Hut. A lot of that has a lot of damage. So we're going to be sticking around this morning here in Castroville, kind of surveying that damage and bringing that to your screens. Mark, Stephanie, we'll head back to you.
All right. Thank you, Alicia. We can even see outside of her window the down power lines as well.
And the rain continues. Of course, we're also waiting to hear from the National Weather Service and their storm survey teams as they try to assess if we did indeed have twisters last night, and if so, what was their intensity. Right now it's 9:20, about 72 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA at 9, a traveler caught smuggling live birds in his clothing. And busy beavers are blamed for an internet outage that's coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
This story's crazy. A bird smuggling scheme foiled as it was hatched when airport authorities here in the U.S. captured a traveler with dozens of live birds under his clothing.
CNN's Jeremy Roth has that bizarre story in today's Take a Look at This.
Authorities at a New York airport arrested a man caught trying to smuggle nearly 3 dozen live birds in his clothes. If this story isn't tweet-worthy, I don't know what is. Officials say customs agents at JFK pulled the man from Guyana aside for an examination. That's when they say they found 35 live finches stuffed inside hair rollers sealed with netting and hidden under his clothing. The man said he'd been paid to smuggle the birds into the U.S., and according to authorities, he was charged with unlawfully importing the finches. It's not immediately clear if anyone else has been linked to the bird-brained scheme. A bar in Missouri recently invited locals to come have some shots. COVID-19 vaccine shots, that is. The Beer Station Taproom in Waldo turned its patio into a free clinic to administer over 1,000 doses left over from a recent Western Kansas pharmacy event. The Taproom's owner says he hopes the ideal will encourage others to get involved.
If we could do anything and use that to better our society, then I think it's great for everybody, and I think it doesn't hurt more businesses to do that.
Finally, a recent internet outage in a Canada community is being blamed on busy little beavers. Roughly 900 customers lost service in the tiny town of Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, after officials with TELUS Communications say fiber cables were chewed in half by beavers building a dam. You can see cable marking tape, normally underground, on top of the dam. Service was restored within 36 hours, and officials apologized, calling the fiasco very bizarre and uniquely Canadian. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
CPS Energy's going, we had nothing to do with that one whatsoever. The guy with the birds, that flight was a JetBlue flight from South America to New York. Nobody could hear all those birds chirping or something?
Or, yeah, I'm sure.
Weird.
They just probably, what's that noise?
I don't know.
I don't know that.
Must have had a row to himself. About 9:26, 72 degrees. More ahead on GMSA at 9.
The Spurs get a loss in Miami, plus they lose Derek White for the rest of the season. Bad news and bad news. David and RJ will join us to discuss.
A bill that could lead to charges for parents who help their children transition to a different sex just passed in the Texas Senate. Why a local mom says she's willing to become a criminal if it means saving her child.
The Texas legislature considering bills that would ban homeless encampments statewide almost 2 years after the city of Austin decided to lift a similar local ban. Alana Rocha with the Texas Tribune will join us after the break to explain.
Texas public school teachers and administrators are celebrating the release of $11 billion in federal stimulus money for public schools, but there's concern for higher education officials.
Texas lawmakers are considering bills to ban homeless encampments statewide. Alana Rocha with the Texas Tribune joins us now with what that could mean for homeless populations across the state. Good morning, Alana.
Good morning.
State top leaders announced they are releasing $11 billion of the $18 billion available in federal pandemic relief funding. It's been dedicated for states' public schools. However, this invited some criticism from Democrats. Why?
Democrats say that the state has had this money some from the Trump administration days, so a few months now, and school advocates or school districts rather have been waiting to see when and how this money will be distributed because they're trying to draft their budgets and know what they're working with. The reason the state says they've been sitting on this money is because they've been trying to gain clarification from the feds. Part of the requirements to trigger the $18 billion drawdown for public schools is the fact that the state needs to maintain spending levels for higher education. So that means pumping $1.2 billion into higher education. The state is asking for a waiver of that requirement. And the higher ed folks say, look, we've taken a hit, our industry's taken a hit with virtual learning, lower enrollments, pandemic protocols, you name it. Even K through 12 is advocating that the state spend this money because it sounds like a pretty good deal, $1.2 billion for $18 billion. So we will definitely keep tabs on that.
And as Austin voters weigh a camping ban proposition, Texas lawmakers are considering bills to prohibit homeless encampments across the state. What will the move mean for the homeless population?
Well, I mean, advocates say that these bills don't do anything to address the problem. They don't put any money towards finding alternative, shelter or means to get these people off the streets. Instead, it would codify in state law that lying or sitting or lying on the streets is a Class C misdemeanor, punishable by up to a $500 fine, which, critics say you're finding people who don't have money, and then that hurts their chances of getting housing. And, the spiral and the cycle continues. The other would penalize cities that lift camping bans, like Austin has done here, that we'll be voting on the fate of that on Saturday. But this is the latest local control tussle, if you will, between Austin or cities in general and the state.
Former President Donald Trump stepping up his involvement in the final hours of the Saturday special election to fill the seat of late North Texas Congressman Ron Wright. We know the former president has endorsed Wright's widow, Susan, and he's set to host a town hall today to get out the vote for Wright. Why is former President Trump going all in?
Well, we know he wants to remain a force in the GOP, and this is really arguably his first true test. I mean, it's a competitive race. Wright is one of 11 Republicans and 23 candidates total on Saturday's ballot, and so it's sure to go to a runoff. Some question kind of the late timing of Trump's endorsement, the fact that it came down Monday, the day before the end of early voting, when, by the end of Monday, 32,000 of the 45,000 early votes had already been cast. Remains to be seen, but this is definitely, the first true test of his clout. And, if he is successful, I doubt that Wright will emerge without a runoff or needing runoff. But, if she is in the runoff, be sure to count him in till that election day.
All right, Alana Rocha with the Texas Tribune. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And you at 9, a bill passed by the Texas Senate yesterday now heads to the House and says parents who help their children transition to a different sex could be charged with child abuse.
It's one of nearly a dozen bills that deal with LGBTQ plus laws moving forward this legislative session. These bills are not without controversy and criticism.
Patty Santos talks to a local mother who says she's willing to become a criminal if it saves her child.
I was that person too. How could you let your kid do something like this? And they're not even 18.
3 years ago, Paige Davis says her family's conservative beliefs and values were shaken to the core when her daughter wanted to transition to become a male.
It's really difficult to understand when you don't know what it means to be transgender. I didn't either before I had a kid who was transgender.
Once she read up on it, her family decided to pay the thousands of dollars for him to begin therapy. Now, she's speaking out against a list of anti-LGBTQ plus bills that seek to end gender-affirming care. One of those bills, SB 1646, which seeks to charge parents with child abuse if they help a minor receive gender-affirming medical treatment, passed the Senate.
If these are going to be procedures someone wants to pursue, that they would pursue them when they were mature enough to understand it.
The state senator who filed the bill says it's about protecting children from life-altering consequences during a hearing Tuesday.
Those against this bill say it is not about politics, religion, or morality. It is about a parent's right to save their child's life.
If we don't let someone live as who they are, would they rather choose not to live?
If I have to be a criminal over this, then that's, I guess, what I'll have to do. I will not lose a child.
SB 1646 will now move to the House committee for review. The legislative session ends May 31st. Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Outside with live cam, we had a stormy night and early morning. We really can't tell from here, but we've got some more showers starting to develop out there. Here's Justin with the latest.
Thank you. Yes, a little wet out there right now. We've got drizzle showers, especially on the west side of town. So we're going to continue to add to our rainfall totals, which were already pretty large. I mean, we had 4 inches in some cases across parts of San Antonio. Did cause a little bit of flooding last night. Most of the floodwaters have receded, but the roads are going to stay wet. Let's look at the radar, and you'll see where those showers are at this hour. Right along the Bexar-Medina County line, then stretching up along I-10 as you get up towards Bernie. Some moderate rain at this hour. Everything's working north and east. No lightning strikes or anything like that. This is all going to be just a light to moderate rain in some cases. But if you're watching us from Helotes this morning, shower activity is starting to pick up. And really across the city, we're still seeing some of that light drizzle. Here is the bigger picture. Our upper level low sitting out over El Paso. This is going to stick around. It's basically put on the brakes. And that means we've got showers in the forecast tomorrow and Saturday. Maybe a few thunderstorms mixed in there too. Temperature 72 at the airport, 50s and 60s in the hill country. It's going to be a cool day. Cloud cover will keep us in the 70s. We've got the drizzle shower activity this morning. I think for the most part, we'll see that come down a little bit as far as rainfall and rain chances, but about a 20% shot going into the afternoon. High close to 78 today, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Taking a look out with TransGuide. The wet roads made for an interesting commute this morning. Right now, things are looking okay there at I-10 and Frio.
It's 9:37, about 72 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
And the Heat snapped the Spurs winning streak last night. David and RJ are here to talk about the loss after the break. So our Spurs fought hard, but they fell short in South Beach.
David and RJ here to break down the Spurs loss to the Miami Heat. And what's ahead now that we know the latest with Derek White? Gentlemen?
I get a kick out of Stephanie.
I know, right? You can immediately tell, like the mood of this.
They lost again.
I can't hide it.
Yeah, you can tell it right away.
She's very emotional about her Spurs.
That's good. Yeah. Spurs fans. It's good to see that. A lot of passion, a lot of emotions when it comes to their team.
How much passion came to the Spurs last night?
Well, you know what? Again, I will say this. I was disappointed that they lost, but I thought they played pretty well. They fought hard, as we said. They fell behind early, kept battling back, made a couple of big shots, and if it weren't for a few key plays there down the stretch, then I think they would have been closer.
But before we get to much more, let's talk about their uniforms. I swear, when I was watching it, I felt like the lights were changing in their arena. Like, you know, those yard lights that spin and have different colors in them? That's what I felt like. I was like, what's wrong with these uniforms?
They almost look like a push pop from the ice cream man.
It's like, what? You know, give me the Spurs uniforms any day
So
of the
they
week.
call them the Miami Vice uniforms.
Yeah, well,
that's what they call them. We have our Fiesta. That's their Miami Vice look.
It kind of looks like the new tie-dye trend. So maybe if we have the new tie-dye trend with our colors, maybe we can win something.
I think that's how they're winning. They got their other team psyched out. They can't figure out if they're coming or going. It's like, which way?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, you know, looking at a couple of the highlights here, if you can just get your eyes away from the Miami Heat uniform for a second. Of course, Devin Vassell gets the start. We'll talk about Derek White here in a bit. Came out, had a decent game, especially second half, 11 points. DeJounte Murray, though, triple-double. I think I saw this unbelievable stat that he has had 4 triple-doubles this season. Only 3 Spurs have ever done that in history. David Robinson and Johnny Moore.
But and this was a usual Spurs game. They got down 14, they come back, they're up 9, and then all of a sudden the Heat go on a 15-0 run and take the lead, and they never. I mean, the Spurs would get it down to 6, and then they go back up to 8 or 10. The Spurs would get it down to 6, and they finally got it down to 3, and then they couldn't tie it up or close it out.
Tough go here. Miami, of course, one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. Haven't played too well all season, but
they were in the finals.
Yeah,
last year.
they were. So, but they've been a little bit up and down this year. Let's hear from Lonnie, who took a little bit of the blame for this loss, and then Devin Vassell got the start.
Times where they're setting inside screens, and Goran Dragic had the middle lane, and I had to pick between him and Jimmy Butler, and I was still out of position. That's things that I need to grow up and learn.
It's difficult, trying to come in here as a rookie and find your role. But like I said, with great teammates, and I think just playing more and getting used to the NBA, the physicality, the shots that I normally get, like all that is kind of coming in full circle.
By the way, with Derek White out, Vassell's going to see a whole lot more playing time, so we can just expect him to improve as the season wears on and sort of winds down as well. He had 11 points last night, and then once again, Lonnie Walker. He's starting to get the feel. He had some great shots last night, and he had 18 points on 7 of 15
Well,
shooting,
I mean, they're going to need all of that because as we're seeing here, Derek, yesterday, Coach, and maybe we don't want to see this. Coach Pop said that he did not expect Derek White to be back this season, so did not indicate if that means playoffs or whatnot, but we kind of knew when this happened that Derek would be out for a little while. It's been a tough year for Derek.
Man.
A lot of
How much
injuries.
do you feel for that guy?
He had COVID. I mean, it's been a rough season.
The toe twice, and then the COVID, and then you just feel because as soon as he gets it going, it's like he gets injured.
It's a big loss. He was the third leading scorer, playing really well, one of their better defenders. So as we said, Lonnie Walker, Devin Vassell, here we go. Time for these guys to step up.
All right, real quick, here's a look at the standings for you. The Spurs lose last night, but they're still in the 9th spot. I don't think they have I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to fall to number 10 because I think they're far enough. Well, it's 13 and a half to 14, maybe so.
Just got to try and avoid that Golden State game.
They're not going to fall out of the playoffs. They're going to either be 9 or 10. So they're good. Yeah. All right, so let's get to the draft.
Yes.
Here we go. Yep. You guys ready for this?
Yep.
Yes.
It's round 1 of the NFL draft. The Cowboys this year
Powered by Davis Law Firm.
Gotta wait for
the Cowboys have 10 draft picks this year, and they have a draft pick in the first round, and they need
a lot of help. It's going to be mostly defense unless one of these guys like Kyle Pitts, who's been talked about for months, manages to fall to them at 10. I don't think they will move up. David doesn't care.
They need defense.
They need defense. They do. Even though, I'd love to see Kyle Pitts in that offense. That'd be fun.
You know, they got all these mock drafts all the time, and if you look at some of the mock drafts, the Cowboys have 10 picks, and a lot of people have them picking defense on like 8 out of those 10. So that's what they need. They need linebackers. They need defensive backs. They need
Sean Lee. Yeah. And as far as the Houston Texans, I mean, they might as well be on a fishing trip this weekend because they're not even picking till Saturday. First 2 rounds are tonight and then tomorrow, and the Texans not even picking till round 3. So unless they make a move up, this is from that trade.
This is the Bill O'Brien problem right here. This is what happened when he traded 2 first rounders and a second rounder for.
That's why when you put your problems on layaway, it just comes back to haunt you.
Great way to put that.
Eventually, you got to pay the bill, right?
Yep. RJ, David, thank you guys. NFL Draft on ABC, KSAT tonight, primetime.
All right. Thanks, guys. Justin, I want to tell you that a viewer wrote in and said that he saw you at 1 a.m. and that you've been working really hard and you've been doing a great job.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. It was all hands on deck last night. The weather team loved my fellow coworkers, and we had to put some work in last night because it was busy. We had storms, we had severe weather, and when that happens, we're going to be here. That's just the way it works. And there was some damage. I want to show you a picture here coming out of San Antonio. This is one of those carports. You know, the straight line winds especially can often do damage like this. You'll see these carports get damaged, and we're seeing scenes like this not only in San Antonio, but up and down Highway 90. That was sort of the corridor where we had quite a bit of damage last night. Let's talk rainfall. And by the way, I just checked the aquifer. It's up something like 3 feet and on its way up. I mean, I think we could see gains of 4 or 5 feet before it's all said and done in the aquifer, and that's huge considering we were in stage 2. That's how it goes around here, right? We get into drought, stay in drought, and then one event, just like that, we see those deficits get erased, and we have flooding. These were some of the numbers: 3.63 Garner State Park, Hondo close to 3 inches here in San Antonio. Officially at the airport over 3 inches. Canyon Lake 1 1/4. Brackettville 1 3/4 there. And looking a little closer here at Bexar County, there were spots that were over 4 inches. So around 410 and 151, 4.33. That's where we saw some flooding last night. Chavano Park, about 4 inches there. Castroville, not only did you see wind damage, but quite a bit of rain too, 2.46. And parts of Medina County up over 3 inches. So look at the rainfall this year. If you remember, we showed this graphic a little bit earlier this week, and we had deficit, something like 3-4 inches. Well, we just erased that pretty quickly. We still have a deficit, believe it or not, but it's a lot smaller, 6.92 now for the year. There's a look at the radar, and we still have some showers out there moving into western parts of Bexar County. This is all really light. We're not expecting any severe weather today, but we'll continue to see a few showers here and there. We'll zoom in a little bit closer, and you can see there's some light, maybe some moderate rain here in the western part of Bexar County, and this is all tracking to the north and east. So Gray Forest, you're going to see some showers, and there is some drizzle still coming down in a lot of spots. So even if it's not getting picked up on the radar, it's damp, it's wet if you're going to be out and traveling today. Here's a look outside. You can see those wet conditions. 72 at the airport, 73 Stinson, 73 Kelly. Southeasterly winds at about 8 miles per hour. In 60s for the most part in the hill country, 66 Comfort, 70s here in Bexar County, and it does get a little bit warmer as you go south. 75 right now in Pleasanton. And the satellite picture shows we got a lot of cloud cover. There could be some breaks this afternoon, especially as we get late in the day. But temperatures are going to remain on the cool side. And there's our upper level low. That's what was behind all this. We had a frontal boundary. This upper level low is going to stick around for a while. and just sort of sit there. And that's going to bring us more rain chances. So this is today at 6 o'clock, just some isolated showers. As we get into tomorrow, this is 7 a.m. Showers again, a pretty good shot at some rain tomorrow. This is around 5 o'clock, showers and even a few storms, some rumbles of thunder. We're not looking for a lot of severe weather, but there could be some storms to contend with. And on Saturday, wow, this is updating and showing more rain here now. Saturday morning especially, I think showers and storms, and this will continue through the day. This is midday Saturday. So rain chances stay with us with this low around. Today, not great chances, but we'll continue to see the drizzle and isolated showers. And then tomorrow, 40% chance of showers and storms, 60% chance Saturday. We do clear out on Sunday. We'll be right back.
Good morning.
Hey guys, how are you?
Coming up on Live, Billy Porter joins us.
He'll tell us what to expect with the final season of Pose. We'll see you soon here on Live.
Users can now buy Bitcoin and other less known digital coins on Venmo. Could this be another sign that cryptocurrencies are going mainstream? What financial experts are saying about that trend today on the news at noon.
And let's take a quick look outside with TransGuide. Looks like things are flowing right now. There's 90 and 410. Things look okay.
And still some drizzle and light rain out there. We'll continue to see that through the morning time, and then just some isolated showers this afternoon. But rain chances pick back up tomorrow and Saturday. Scattered showers and storms, especially as we get into Saturday. Temperatures stay on the cool side until Sunday.
I try to keep this in mind. We are just the messengers.
Yeah.
Snake sightings could increase after rainy weather here in the San Antonio metro area. We're not making this stuff up.
No, it's something to watch out for. So yeah, heavy rains in that area can spike the snake sightings. We are told that snakes historically like to come out after rainstorms. The rain is known to bring the snakes out since they will be chasing after frogs and other prey. That's according to snakeremoval.com.
And I saw frogs everywhere this morning in the road and on the sidewalks. Snakes also seek higher ground and shelter from the rain, which means they could show up in your house, on your patio, near the front door, or somewhere in your neighborhood.
Unwanted visitors. So what can you do? So keep storage areas such as your garage, shed, and clean as tidy as possible. And snakes can fit through tiny openings and easily hide in shadowy areas, which means wood and brush piles should be kept as far away from your house as possible.
Exercise caution everywhere, including the dark areas of your home. Snakes can make their way into the most unlikely of places.
Unless there is an immediate threat to your safety, though, snakes should be left alone.
Yeah, remember, by and large, most snakes are harmless. And for more on how to tell the difference between whether a snake is venomous or not, we have this article on our website at KSAT.com.
Yeah, but keep your distance. I think that's good advice.
That's the best advice. Yeah.
Have a great day.